All right, hey Masae. So you did this beautiful painting, and I just was like, holy smokes, you leveled up again. So I just want to bring you on here to kind of talk about the painting a little bit.
Well, this painting was done for our Schoolism summer sale that's happening. And just to kind of fit the theme, I wanted something that, feels like summer, really light, bright feeling that everyone's going to feel like, it's summer.
Now, one thing about this video is that when you were painting this painting, I didn't ask you to record your process. So instead, what you're doing is just this nice way of revealing the various steps that you took, right? Through unveiling masks and things like that. So it's not some magic brush, everybody, where you're painting like 5 different colors all at the same time with one stroke.
Right. If only that brush existed.
I would love to also talk about what you actually painted here. There's many intricacies of this painting layered on top of each other that were just so awesome. People are going to see water. They're going to see reflective water. They're going to see transparent water. They'll see water in shadow, water in direct light, and combinations of those. Water is something very, very difficult to paint.
Yeah, water is very, very hard to paint. I actually, before I started this painting, I did a few photo studies just to kind of understand how water works in certain types of lighting. The type of water also depends as well. Depends if it's clear, if it's a bit more murky. And then there's the ground surface that matters as well. And so I just wanted to see what types of, water types there are and find the one that fits this whole mood. So because I did those first initial steps, it really helped me ground what I wanted to do with this painting.
What did you not get before when you couldn't paint water well? Do you remember like your biggest kind of mistakes?
The ripples really threw me off because depending on how big the ripple is, it warps whatever you see that's under. So essentially the ground, and also the shadow that is being casted. Because I didn't really take that into account, something just felt off the first time I did my painting. So I actually redid this another time to kind of be a bit more efficient in terms of where I want my values and where I want the light and the reflection to go.
Yeah, before I remember like when I was beginning, I would just draw lines for the ripples, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I did. I didn't really understand like how the ripples form, like especially for this creature that's swimming, like when it's pushing the water, it's almost like it's creating these folds and then trailing behind it. The ripples kind of like overlap each other and create like smaller ripples. And then the further it gets, it like calms down a bit. And then the different qualities of ripples that don't always fall under the horizontal stereotypical ripples.
Oh yeah, and if people really want to get into it and really think about the subtleties and everything of water, currently the water that you painted has an even level of clarity in the water. But then there's other bodies of water where like maybe a fish just quickly swims away and then all of a sudden brings up some sediment, right? And then brings a cloudiness. Or 2 different bodies of water meet, like an ocean and a lake. They meet and one has a different kind of density than the other, things like that. And then there's the whole thing of bubbles, right? When you start to really get into the water and getting very active, yeah, all of a sudden that clear water becomes unclear because of bubbles.
Yeah, yeah. There's just so many layers to painting water.
And then there's the whole entire idea of like, if this is see-through water, which you did awesomely, this is see-through water, but it's moving and there's ripples. I would not be able to clearly see through the water to see these clear silhouettes of paws, of legs, right? Like they're chopped up. Do you remember like how you picked up on that? Was there an aha moment? Was there an aha kind of picture that you're looking at and you're like, yeah, I like how that arm is broken up?
Yeah, I think the moment when I realized like, oh, so that's how the shape and form under the water, like this is why it's affected, and that is all dependent on the ripple amount. So depending on how big is it, which ellipse it follows, like in a way, like which direction does it follow, and based on that, like whatever is under that should follow the ripple, if that makes sense.
When you get into water, it's so hard to keep up. I remember first seeing Gonzalo Carcamo's watercolor paintings of water, right? And you're just like,
My gosh.
that's absolutely magical.
Yeah, you can just like dip your toes in the water. You just like feel the wetness.
Also, the way that you analyze and the way that I analyze this whole entire discussion reminds me heavily of a lot of the influence that I got from Dice Tatsumi and Robert Kondo's class, painting with light and color, right? Because
Yeah.
they really analyzed everything that we're talking about. I feel like so much of it I got from their class. The appreciation of analyzing real life scenarios.
And going through their class, it really taught me to understand how certain surfaces and objects and things are affected by the light, and then how does that change the color. And I did apply a bit, like, a lot of the knowledge in this. And so because of that class, it really taught me how to know where I should put what.
The other thing that's really cool about this is the design of the illustration actually reminds me a lot of the things that were taught in Nathan Fowlkes' class, designing with light and color, because you do it beautifully where you place certain light and certain colors and certain fish and certain whatever in a way where it's not so much linear design anymore. It's tonal and color and lighting design.
Yeah, I definitely kept in mind the light against dark, the silhouettes, and the contrast between the green water and the orange fishes, and obviously the creature's fur and stuff. And because I had that in mind, if, like, let's just say this painting didn't have that big shadow that's casted by the trees in behind it, it would totally look different, and the focus wouldn't be towards the flower and the creature's face. So Nathan really taught me, like, to really focus on that type of contrast and how to use that to your advantage and make your painting like really work.
So one question that is one of the most common questions is like, where did you get your inspiration from?
Yeah, so I own 2 cats, and one of my cats is this striped Bengal looking one. And because, I love her to death, and she's so cute with her like little white paws and like the really pretty patterns, I wanted to incorporate that into this creature. Although, the paw isn't white, it's actually darker. But you can see like certain facial patterns and the little like stripes in the tail. I just wanted to like somehow incorporate, something that I'm very familiar to into my painting. And I think doing that makes it a lot more fun and enjoyable, and also like a bit more special to me. And hopefully people can, relate to this painting if they own a cat that's similar to my cat.
Absolutely adorable. And that is really the secret sauce comes from you, right? From like the artist.
You gotta, add a little sprinkle of my own experiences and, things I enjoy.
As mentioned in the beginning of this video, this painting was for the Schoolism summer sale. Those various courses, those various artists that we mentioned throughout the video, all those artists have courses with lessons, assignments on schoolism.com. When you subscribe to any course on Schoolism, you get access to all of the courses. This means over 50 courses, lessons, assignments. It's kind of like Netflix for artists. All right, everybody, take care and go visit schoolism.com.